sacrifices enabled us to enjoy.
It is a beautiful day for baseball on this Memorial Day in Pittsburgh. And this afternoon, the Pirates continue their 6-game homestand. It's the first of 3 against the Arizona Diamondbacks, one of the hotter clubs in all of baseball. The red, white, and blue is flying today. Greg Brown, Bob Walk, and Robbie Inspikowski with you. And ball flying out of the ballpark a couple of times with Gregory Polanco back in the lineup, Bob, over the weekend after spending some time on the disabled list. He really looks confident, looks healthy, looks strong. Good place right now for Polanco.
Yeah, it's something that we talk about a lot, about this team's offense, about the home run ball, and where can they get some of that instant offense? Who can provide some of that lost power with Jung Ho not being here this year? Polanco certainly is one of those guys. Ton of power. It looked like coming out of spring training with the big World Baseball Classic that he had, that he was going to get off to a great start, but it just didn't work out that way. But now it really does look like he's coming on with the long ball.
Now, we have seen the Arizona Diamondbacks in person in Phoenix a couple of weeks ago. Pirates split a 4-game series. This is a very good ball club there in the midst of an 11-game road trip, despite the fact they lost their last 2 in Milwaukee. Look what they've done their last 13 ball games.
Well, these guys can certainly swing the bat, that's for sure. That's really what makes them so dangerous, is how quickly they can put up runs. But this ballpark is a lot different from theirs. This is more of a fair ballpark, a little more of a pitcher's ballpark. Hopefully we can keep that offense of the Diamondbacks under control.
Pirates going to send a snake charmer to the hill today. That'll do the trick perhaps against these Arizona Diamondbacks. Trevor Williams a couple of weeks ago beat Arizona, allowed just a run in 5 innings of work. It's the Pirates, it's the D-backs coming up next. Baseball honoring those who served and paid the ultimate sacrifice, and here in Pittsburgh in a PNC Park, There's a moment of silence, and as we walk down the Ohio, the Korean Memorial, the Vietnam War Memorial, and the World War II Memorial here on the North Shore. Great to see young and old alike walking along the North Shore and paying tribute and remembering, and that's what this is all about. You see a special stitching on the baseballs played throughout Major League Baseball today. Commissioner Manfred's signature on the baseballs with the special stitching. All teams this whole weekend wearing camouflage type jerseys, and a lot of red, white, and blue throughout the ballpark today. 8 games this afternoon, and a handful to be played tonight in the major leagues. And of course, we're going to watch this one closely and hope the Pirates can rebound from dropping 2 of 3 to the New York Mets. A really disappointing series. So Trevor Williams will take the hill. One of his 2 wins this year, and his first win as a starting pitcher was against these Diamondbacks. Went 5 innings, gave up just a run in Phoenix a couple of weeks ago. And as Bob said, the Diamondbacks, offensively, and we saw it firsthand, they are tough. They can hit the ball out of the ballpark. They are second in the league in home runs. And they've got leading off the 9th man in the National League in terms of batting average, Chris Owings, followed by David Peralta and Paul Goldschmidt. Peralta, by the way, a career .324 hitter against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And it's Jake Lamb, who's been as hot as any player in baseball the last couple of weeks. Yasmani Tomas at left. Brandon Drury is at second. Gregor Blanco, Jeff Mathis, and Randall Delgado, the starting 9 for the Diamondbacks. David Peralta will be on deck, the left-handed hitter.
We'll take a look at what Trevor Williams has been up to so far. Overall numbers, but you really kind of like to look at just his last couple of games, last 3 games. He's been pitching much better, and I love the command and the control that he was able to show in that Atlanta start. He really was throwing both the slider and the fastball just about exactly where he wanted to. It was very impressive. And then the last time out, was it 3 starts ago, as you said, Greg, against these Diamondbacks, he looked very sharp. Shut down a very good hitting team for 5 innings.
Here's the Honda defense behind him. Andrew McCutchen in center. John Jaso makes his first Pirate start in left field. Gregory Polanco in right. Josh Harrison will play third with Jordy Mercer at short. Alan Hansen gets a start at second base. Josh Bell is at first. Chris Stewart will catch Trevor Williams this afternoon, so Francisco Cervelli gets a day off. And again, John Jaso, his 8th career start in the big leagues in left. And this is his first start as a Pirate in left field with Alan Hansen at right back to Williams. Sounded like it got flushed there, and showing no signs of an injury.
No, it didn't go anywhere. It stayed right there, so it hit something hard and just fell to the ground. It certainly looked like it got him in the leg. We'll know now. Yeah, it looked like the right leg, outside of the right leg.
Man, that
inside of the left one, maybe. Yep. That'll leave a bruise.
So he is in some kind of pain, but never let him see you sweat, right?
No, just act like nothing happened.
Ben Potenziano, assistant trainer to Todd Tomczyk. And here's David Peralta. 7 hits in the 4-game series in Phoenix a couple of weeks ago for Peralta. The one-time pitcher in the Cardinals minor league system. Williams makes his 5th start this season, his 11th appearance. He's in the rotation with Jameson Taillon on the disabled list.
Beard looks good with that camo hat, huh? Taillon seems to be progressing rather quickly. He'll be back in the rotation sooner than later, you would think, as long as there's no setbacks.
By the way, we'll talk to Jameson Taillon in the 4th inning. He'll join us. Made that start for Altoona yesterday up in Erie. He won 3 solid innings. Pretty remarkable story. Jameson Taillon. We'll hear firsthand from him. 25-year-old Trevor Williams was one time drafted by the Marlins. I think they're checking to see if that ball hit Peralta. They're going to see if they want to challenge this.
And now they are.
They are going to challenge it. So they must have seen on their video that you'd have to be pretty convinced to use up a challenge right now.
It must be pretty clear on a hit batsman.
Yeah. Must
be
be
first inning.
Pretty clear it got him.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Diamondbacks are challenging Polanco field. Continuing the batter was hit by the pitch.
It's interesting though. A lot of time, of course, oftentimes a batter will just drop his bat and start heading to first base.
Well, but Peralta did turn and say that hit him. He didn't drop the bat, but he did react to it.
Adrian Johnson and the crew chief Gary Cederstrom on the headsets. Zoom in.
Looked like it clipped the toe. If they have the zoom in New York, then I think that'll be the key look right there. Got to have the zoom.
They've got it. If we've shown it, they've seen it.
They got it. We got it.
Okay, Gunner.
They're taking their time. Must not be as cut and dry as we think it is. Maybe they don't have the zoom. That's before the zoom. It was kind of tough to see. Do you agree, or no?
Let's see what they say. Yep. Challenge.
They had the zone.
Yep.
There's the zoom. Watch it just nick the toe right there. You can see the shoe kind of move.
Exactly. You can see his foot just move ever so slightly, and that was the key, I think. So they win the challenge. Now Paul Goldschmidt. Pop up. Josh Bell going to give way to Hansen. 2 outs. Rivers Casino tips to win.
Well, we got a little bit of a theme today, a little military theme. Jaso's out on the left flank. Now, you already talked about the little experience he has out there in left field. It's a huge left field, so it's a big left flank. And he's got the sun. You can tell right now he's staring right into it. Kind of an odd 4 o'clock start, so he's going to be challenged out there a little bit, but you got to get him in the lineup swinging that hot bat. And Delgado throws a ton of fastballs, so let's get out there and attack that once we get the bats in our hands.
Strike is called on Jake Lamb. Lamb tied for 3rd in the National League with 14 home runs. He's driven in 43. Pirates overshift. 3 infielders on the right side. Josh Harrison stays at short. Lamb 8 for 18 in the 4-game series against the Pirates in Phoenix. 7 homers his last 13 games. He strikes out a bunch. In fact, he has gone down 56 times this year. That's tied for 5th most in the league. Trevor Williams. That line drive back to the mound and then hits Peralta, nicks him with a pitch, and gets Goldschmidt to pop up. The Diamondbacks have the second most steals in the National League, behind only the Cincinnati Reds. Peralta with 4 of them in 5 tries. Hard hit, almost got a piece of the runner, Peralta. He'll still wind up at third.
If you're going to pull the ball into that shift, you got to center it up and hit it with a lot of velocity to get it through one of those holes. Lamb able to do that. The ball was right where they wanted it. Here it is again. It looked like it was an inside pitch, I believe. Able to turn on it. They're trying to run it in on him.
Peralta now to third. And Jake Lamb rifles one into right. Yasmani Tomas with 8 homers and 31 runs batted in gets the start in left for Torey Lovullo's Arizona Diamondbacks. Tomas, hip issues a few days ago, scratched from the lineup for a couple days since returning. 0 for 8. Ground ball and a base hit, and it's 1-0. 1-0 Arizona.
That clutch 2-out base hits, got 2 of them in a row. And that's a part of the story, or a huge part of the story this year with the Diamondbacks. Their offense and the way they can put runs up. Once Goldschmidt popped up, you have that runner at first base. You think, okay, just 1 out away from it. As long as I don't give up an extra base hit, should be okay. But back-to-back base hits through the infield.
Now Brandon Drury. Second baseman, .299 batting average for Drury.
Williams, since he's been a starter, has been a very good strike thrower. Been efficient, keeps his pitch counts down.
.2 on Drury. .361 career hitter against the Pirates. Brandon Drury, including 5 out of 12 in the series. The Pirates dropped the first 2 in Phoenix. Zach Greinke beat them the opening game of that series 2-1, and then Patrick Corbin beat Tyler Glasnow. They scored 7 runs in the 3rd inning off Glasnow in the second game of the series, and the Pirates won the next 2. The scores of 4-3 and 6-4, a 10-inning victory in the finale. Back on Mother's Day, and it was Trevor Williams who beat Taijuan Walker the Saturday night before Mother's Day. Gave up a Nick Ahmed home run in the 2nd inning, the only run in his 5 innings of work. It stays 1-2. Drafted by the Marlins, Trevor Williams, back in 2013, a 2nd-round pick out of Arizona State. Pirates traded for him before the 2016 season. He was in a battle for one of the spots in the rotation in spring training, ended up being a long man out of the bullpen until Taillon went down. And yes, he gets Brandon Drury for the final out, but the challenge by the Diamondbacks pays off. They get a run out of it. It is 1-0. as the Pens begin their Stanley Cup defense. The finals coming up beginning tonight in Pittsburgh against the Predators. We check out the starting lineup for the Pirates. Round 4 starting lineup: Josh Harrison, Jordy Mercer, Josh Bell, Gregory Polanco hits cleanup, 7-game hitting streak for him and hitting .370 during this stretch. Don Jaso is in left, Andrew McCutchen in center field. Bottom third of the order: Alan Hansen, Chris Stewart, and Trevor Williams.
You see Delgado's numbers on the years. Made just the one start and threw a lot of fastballs in that. That's not uncommon, I think, for somebody coming out of the bullpen that's got a live arm. They will really rely on that number one. Hopefully this afternoon we can jump on him early, do some damage. There's the fastball. That one at 95.
Josh Harrison, a 10-game hitting streak. J-Day was 2 out of 5 last night in the loss to the Mets. One and 2 on Jay Hay. Average up to .310. And leading off as Adam Frazier gets a day off. Adam Frazier has a little tough stretch of games, so Clint Hurdle decides to give Frazier this day off. And toward left, but that'll be foul into the seats. Nice play. Nonchalant.
Make that easy catch and give it to a kid. Perfect.
Great job, Dad. Oh, yeah.
Memories of the ballpark. We'll come up maybe Thanksgiving or so. You remember when we were at the ballpark? Caught that line drive down there? Yeah, Dad, I remember that. Dog got the ball, though. Be one of those balls, though, you don't want to give up because it's got the green threads, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep, Memorial Day 2017. Delgado strikes him out with a 96-mile-per-hour fastball, the 8th pitch of the at-bat.
Yeah, location was really pretty good on it. Got it upstairs.
Defense for the Snakes: Tomas Blanco and Peralta in the outfield, left to right. Jake Lamb, Paul Goldschmidt on the corners. Chris Owings, Brandon Drury up the middle. Jeff Mathis catches Delgado. Veteran backstop. Chris Iannetta is back. You might have seen Iannetta get hit by a pitch against the Pirates right in the face. He returned and homered in his first game back. That was quite a moment. Jordy Mercer has hit safely in 10 of his last 13 games. Delgado pitched in 2 of the 4 games in that series against the Pirates a couple of weeks ago in Phoenix. And as Bob said, his second straight start. Last time out against the White Sox, 4 innings, a couple of runs, just 1 earned on 3 hits. He's in the rotation for now with Taijuan Walker on the disabled list with a blister on the right index finger. This is not new to Delgado. 2 years ago, he started mainly a starter in the Braves organization, and then after being traded over.
Look, that 10-day disabled list is really having
Teams are
an
aggressive
effect.
with it.
Yeah, they
Yep.
really are. I mean, you might think twice about putting a starting pitcher on there with a blister before. But 10 days to a starting pitcher essentially is one start.
See the good numbers for Mercer the last week. Oh, hit hard past the pitcher Delgado.
Mercer's the kind of guy, he'll take what you give him, and they're just trying to stay away from him here. And that ball right over the outside half of home plate. Goes with it the other direction with some authority. It's the barrel to it.
Here's Josh Bell. Went 1 for 5 last night. He's going through a bit of a rough stretch himself. 3 for his last 25. But hit a couple of home runs against the D-backs. That road trip a couple of weeks ago.
It's been kind of difficult to get a number of the guys in the lineup going at the same time. It seems like there's always been somebody hot, but
never a handful, just a couple.
Yeah, to really make that big impact.
David Freese, Adam Frazier on the bench, getting today off. Nine home runs on the season for Bell, and Delgado has given up 5 in his first 31 innings. 4 years ago, when he was mainly a starter, he gave up 24 home runs in only 116 innings, so definitely vulnerable in that department. And 3-1. 27-year-old from Panama, signed by the Braves in July of 2006. And was dealt to Arizona. A big trade that brought in not only Delgado, but Martin Prado, Nick Ahmed, Brandon Drury, Justin Upton, and Chris Johnson went to the Braves in that deal. 3-2 now on Bell, but that has worked out quite nicely for Arizona.
If you pick the right prospects in return, it can really pay a lot of dividends. Got to make sure you get the right name circled. Mercer back pretty easy.
Allegheny Health Network Supermo look at it. There goes the runner. Swing and a miss. And strike him out, throw him out, double play. Mercer overslid the bag and stayed with the tag. 1-0 Arizona.
Inning of play. I'm Robbie. It's Mikowski here at PNC Park. Jameson Taillon made his first rehab start in Erie for the Altoona Curve yesterday, and he did something really cool. A fan in Erie reached out to the Erie Seawolves, their AA baseball team, and he was dealing with stage 3 testicular cancer. So Jameson Taillon, in addition to making the rehab start, also spent about 20 to 30 minutes meeting with the man and his family. Great stuff from Jameson Taillon, and he is also the subject of our Allegheny Health Network injury update. He's on the 10-day disabled list after undergoing surgery for testicular cancer, and the numbers were spectacular yesterday for Taillon. He threw 3 innings, gave up just 1 hit and 1 walk. He threw 47 pitches during the outing yesterday. Now, as for what's going on in the future, Greg, we don't know exactly what it is. Clint Hurdle did stress, let's temper the expectations. Let's not rush this guy back. He's not coming back from a baseball injury. So when he's ready, he'll make his return. We do know he is going to make at least 1 more rehab start before he returns to action for the Pirates.
We will talk to Jameson Taillon in the 4th inning as he talks to Chad Kuhl. And they watch Trevor Williams, Gregor Polanco, bottom third of the order, Jeff Mathis, and then Randall Delgado. The veteran Polanco hitting .255. And we'll let that go foul.
Good.
Not much of a choice there. Yeah, can't help but think of that start in LA when you see a ball like that.
Yeah, with Trevor hustling over to it. Let it go.
Jameson Taillon sent out an Instagram yesterday, a special day, putting on the Altoona Curve jersey again and pitching in Erie, where I opened my 2013 season. To some, this return may seem quick, but to me and those that know me, this return is just right and in due time. Hashtag #KCancer. One and 2 on Blanco. A.J. Pollock is on the disabled list with a right groin strain suffered in that series against the Pirates.
Hadn't slowed him down at all.
That was in the 10th inning. Remember that?
Yeah.
It
looked
last
like
at bat.
Pulled it pretty good.
Yeah. They had to bring in Zach Greinke to pinch run. And the Pirates decided to intentionally walk Paul Goldschmidt later in that inning, despite the fact that they were up by just a couple runs. Now 2 and 2 on Blanco. And the second straight strikeout for Williams, first out of the 2nd.
I think that might have been a changeup. Oh yeah. A little run away. Run away.
Run, 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 run away. Here's Jeff Mathis. .174 hitter this season. One of 3 catchers on this roster, along with Iannetta, and Mathis is hit by the pitch.
Oh, well up and in. Couldn't get out of the way of that one. But we've seen Trevor do this. He does not shy away at going up and into guys. He will throw that ball up there, and if you don't get the arm out of the way, he's got it. I'm trying to think if it was in Atlanta, he got somebody. Robbie had talked to his dad in the stands. His dad said something about, hey, you come up and in, you got to hit somebody every now and then.
It's true.
But I mean, you got to pitch up there.
Yeah.
Trevor has to throw the ball inside, and occasionally you're going to catch an elbow.
He had another catcher that day in Atlanta, Tyler Flowers.
Is that what was Flowers?
Delgado. And a little confusion there. Josh Bell and Trevor Williams, but Bell gets out of the way, and Williams throws on to Hansen for the sacrifice.
It's like a pop fly. Somebody has to say, I got it, and the other guy has to move. Now, of course, the regular fielder, if you're both calling it, you have to, you have to give way to him. But I don't think listening there on that replay didn't sound like anybody said a word. And there also has to be, something coming, I think, from Stewart. He sees everybody, and so he can holler somebody's name, and then the other guy can get out of there.
Chris Owings lined one back to Williams.
I think we've seen with Williams, he's very aggressive on the defense. He likes to go after everything.
Yeah.
So
not a ball that's hit that he doesn't think is going to be turned into an out. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's going to try and jump on it if it's anywhere around him, no matter what. So as a third baseman or first baseman, got to be aware of that and yell at him to get out of your way. Cervelli will make some noise.
Bell. Hurry up. Well, it's a bang bang play. We'll see if they don't challenge it. That was
nobody
very close.
Holding up. He's out. We didn't even have to zoom in on that one.
So the out at first goes 3-1. The Pirates trail 1-0 heading to the bottom of the second. Start of a 3-game series tomorrow night, 7:05. Then matinee game 12:35 Wednesday before the Pirates hit the road. And the 4, 5, and 6 men in the order for the Pirates here in the bottom of the second on a beautiful day for baseball in Pittsburgh. 79 degrees first pitch.
Good day to be out on the couch, isn't it?
Yeah. Out in left field.
Polanco can turn on one of these fastballs that he's going to see. Let the first one go by. And showing some power. That one's just 91 miles an hour. That's kind of odd. That tried to cut that ball or just didn't stay behind it when he let go of it, but he put it in a good spot, so it worked out for him. Got it upstairs out of the strike zone. Trying to go up there again. A little more velocity on that one. A little more of his normal speed.
Pitch count will be a factor certainly for Delgado as he makes just his second straight start. 61 pitches his last time out. Torey Lovullo felt like the team could bump him up to about 70 to 75 pitches this afternoon. Delgado 28 and 27 in his career, a lifetime ERA of 4.13. John Jaso to follow, then Andrew McCutchen. Pirates have had an issue in the past with Delgado and the Diamondbacks. And now Polanco has worked the count to 3-2. Paul Goldschmidt was hit by a pitch in the first game of that series a couple years ago and ended up breaking his hand. He was out for the rest of the year, and the next night is when the Diamondbacks decided to take action. And Andrew McCutchen's final at bat of that ball game.
The next night, in the ninth
inning, the Pirates were ahead 4-1. The Pirates had runners at second and third in the ninth with one out, and Delgado hit McCutchen square in the back, and he would go on the disabled list the next day as he was at the plate and a sacrifice fly and pulled a side muscle. And Delgado gets Polanco, third strikeout.
Came in there with a breaking ball on the full count.
Use your PNC Pirates card. Buy Pirates tickets this season, and when you do that, you can save $5 on select seats to Sunday through Thursday home games. Plus, get $5 in loaded value good for concessions and merchandise. Go to pirates.com/Pirates card for your tickets. Now Jaso.
Jaso to stay hot. A couple of big hits last night.
Or two nights. Won the game, tied it in the ninth, won it in the 10th. Playing left field, starting in left for the first time as a Pirate, as Clint Hurdle decides not to move Gregory Polanco. And that was quick work.
Yeah, that fastball really plays well when he gets swings on it at it upstairs. This is the pitch you definitely don't want to chase after. See how late he was there. That ball was definitely in the glove before the head of the bat got out over the strike zone.
Sarah Cooper over there, first base umpire. Check swing on the breaking ball. Popped up. Brandon Drury. Pirates go down in order.
Did good on the pitch count that time. That inning.
Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, the largest health system rated #1 in the region for all the things that matter most. And by Kenny Ross Subaru, total confidence pricing. Let's go Bucks!
It is a 1-0 Arizona lead going to inning number 3. Diamondbacks' longest road trip of the year, 11-gamer. Started in Milwaukee. And a strike on David Peralta. It's the longest road trip that the Diamondbacks have made since 2010. Peralta hit by a pitch in the first. Gabe Morales, third base umpire.
Well, they have definitely taken the road grays to a different level, haven't they?
Yeah. They're
grayed out for the road trip.
They're wasting no time. Gets rid of that ball in a hurry. Easily gets Peralta. 1 down in the top of the third. You bet Adrian Johnson. Eric Cooper. First base of the crew chief Gary Cederstrom. Gabe Morales at third. And there's Trevor Williams. His 11th appearance of the year, his 5th start. Paul Goldschmidt popped up in the first. A 29-year-old who was born in Wilmington, Delaware, but like Jameson Taillon, who was born in Florida, both moved at a very young age to the Woodlands near Houston.
Pretty good place to grow up as a baseball player.
No question about that.
A lot of major leaguers live in that area. A lot of good golfers in that area.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Paul Goldschmidt. 6'3", 225 pounds. He is 29 years old. Facing this 25-year-old from San Diego, Trevor Williams. Leads the league in walks, does Goldschmidt, and Trevor Williams going to try to avoid walking him in this instance, and it's driven deep to center, but there is McCutchen. Line out, 2 down.
Well, a lot of teams will they'll pick 1 or 2 guys they don't want to beat them. Well, that is 44 on the Diamondbacks. The Pirates will not, if they can help it at all, throw him anything that he can hit in a game-winning type situation. They certainly proved that the other night when they intentionally walked him with somebody already at first base.
Jake Lamb singled in the first. Josh Bell has done that a couple times now this season. That is bizarre. First baseman just lets the ball go between his legs and over to Hanson, on to Williams. Global Unlimited baseball break and a couple of news and notes in Major League Baseball. David Price returned off the disabled list to make his debut this season. Earlier today, he was on the DL with the left elbow strain. He went 5 innings, gave up 3 runs, couple of hits, couple of walks, hit a couple guys. Game tied at 4 in the 7th inning. The Boston Red Sox and Chicago White Sox. And Mike Trout, X-rays negative. That game yesterday, but having an MRI. The standout Angels center fielder was hurt in the game last night in Miami. And a base hit for Alan Hansen. A leadoff single to right.
Good speed aboard. A great way to start off an inning. With anybody that can and run, have them lead off, get on base. Hansen able to pull that ground ball through the hole.
It's 2 for 2 in the stolen base department, by the way.
If I remember right, that Arizona didn't do a lot of shifting, did they, when we were down there?
Not a ton of the over shifting, no.
Yeah, they'll shade, kind of a traditional way to play, but I don't remember them doing a lot. I know they've shifted at least once so far today. Polanco, maybe?
They're in a little bit of a transition period right now, the last year or so. Getting on board with analytics. They hired a man away from the Pirates, Mike Fitzgerald. And there he goes. And out at second, he says, take a look at it.
Well, the ball was in the dirt, so it had to be picked first before a tag can go down, and perhaps Hansen got his hand in there before he was touched. It was a nice catch on that ball in the dirt. The hand's going for the bag. You'll be able to see more here, perhaps.
Clint Hurdle says to Hansen, you're out.
It was close. I could see how Hansen would think maybe I got in there. The tag is up on the shoulder right there. Inconclusive would be, I think, what you could call that. One pitch and a second out. Started off nice, speed on the bases to lead off, but it's kind of turning into a quick inning now.
It looked as though halfway there he slowed down a little bit, like it wasn't a straight steal. Is that, look at it, kind of slows down.
Oh, he did
that was
slow down
weird.
right there, yeah.
If he goes full bore, he makes it easy. But Hansen slowed down, almost to, not quite to a stop, but you can see a significant slowdown halfway between first and second. 0-2 now on Trevor Williams.
Yeah, if he was, you know, thinking that the throw was coming down there, he would have never did what we saw in the replay there. No way. He did take a little peek. The peek wasn't a traditional spot when the ball crosses home plate. He took a look over his shoulder later than that, kind of to check on maybe the progress of the throw. Could he have thought that it was a foul ball, or I don't
It
know.
almost looked like that for him to slow down
Yeah.
as much as he did. Delgado Gave up the leadoff hit to Hansen, then the caught stealing and ground out. Now Williams hitless in 9 major league at bats. Make it 10 and make it 5 Ks for Delgado through the first 9 batters.
The all-wheel drive RAV 4th inning. Toyota, what drives you?
1-0 as we go to the 4th here on this Memorial Day. Diamondbacks coming to bat. Use your Port Authority Connect card. Save big on Pirates tickets this season. Save up to $10 per ticket on select Sunday through Thursday home games here at PNC Park. Get your tickets at pirates.com/connect card. Trevor Williams facing the 5, 6, 7 men in the order. Yasmani Tomas, who singled in the game's only run in the first inning with 2 outs. Hey, happy birthday.
Need a win for the birthday.
Yep.
That's a sharp looking hand. A little warm today, probably.
Another birthday.
I've seen a number of the birthday signs today. I'm thinking that about 4 or 5 now. It's a popular day to be born on.
You're enjoying your holiday.
I knew that hat was hot.
Yeah. Take that. Yasmani Tomas. Line toward left center field. McCutchen over. 1 away.
Nice job tracking that down. A little bit of a breeze blowing out toward left field. Kind of pushing that ball a little. See those flags blowing out that direction. Kind of just a lazy little bit of a breeze. Had it all the way. No problems with that. No problems with that sun. He's normally playing batting practice about now. Taking batting practice.
Williams has struck out a couple line drives, including one right at him. First batter of the ball game, Chris Owings. Josh Bell with the second out.
Pirate chip. Nice Jolly Roger in the back. Fan tan. Hashtag. Well, this is the official starting day of boating season, isn't it?
Is it really?
I just made that up.
Oh.
I think it is. Should be. Memorial Day. Summer is.
It's official.
Getting
right?
into full swing
Unofficially.
now. Yep. Like to get rid of the brown water out there, though. That doesn't look very, I don't know, fun to boat in. Don't you think? Get rid of the muddy water. It looks kind of like the Mon.
Now, when will they get rid of that? When will that be gone?
That usually is gone by 4th of July.
Okay. Jeff Mathis.
Oh, nice play to keep that ball in front of you. That was a tough hop, man.
Ashley.
Maybe hooking in there and had some velocity on it too. That might be a bruise. She's got something in common now with Trevor.
I was just going to say.
And she did the same thing he
Brennan
did.
Barrett, yep.
Did not show that it hit her at all.
Yes.
No big deal. Got the out. It's the important thing.
Mathis pops this ball up to left. Jaso. A 7-pitch inning for Trevor Williams. Going to talk to Jameson Taillon when we come back. Bottom half of the 4th inning at PNC Park. There's Clint Hurdle wearing one of those JMO wristbands, remembering Jameson Taillon and the JMO number 50 wristband, and he joins us now. We were just talking, Jameson, about that start yesterday for you in Erie. How did it feel to get back on the mound?
Felt great. You know, I know some of those guys down on the AA team. They've got a good team, familiar faces. And, you know, I came up through the system, so it's cool to see all the stops that I made and go and revisit and see the old stomping grounds.
How do you feel now, by the way, you know, less than 24 hours after that start?
Normal soreness. You know, I was saying to somebody, it's crazy how you work your whole off season and stuff to build up strength, and you know, you have a spring training progression, so you're, you know, going 1 inning, 2 inning, 3 innings, and building up, and then you take a couple weeks off, and I went back to 3 innings, and you know, I'm back to being sore again. So I need to build up for sure.
Jameson, you said something on your Instagram I thought was interesting. It was about some people might think this is happening rather quick, but to you it was perfect timing. Explain, why is it such perfect timing?
Yeah, I don't know. I've definitely had a lot of people reaching out saying they thought it was pretty quick, and you know, make sure I'm healed, and you know, not just physically but mentally. But you know, I got the clearance from doctors, the training staff, the coaching staff, my family. I've talked to everybody, and as far as I'm concerned, I've been told there's no risk involved. It's safe to do so, and you know, the choice is really up to me. And then I did some soul searching, and pitching's what I do. It's who I am. It's a big part of my identity, and I wanted to return to normalcy. So pitching it is.
It's kind of a little bit of an escape from what you've been going through to actually get out there and compete again.
Yeah, I've been told from, you know, several people that don't go out there and start pitching this quickly if it's going to provide stress in your life. But for me, it de-stresses me. Get out.
To right and off the glove of Peralta. So Mercer thinking 3, and he's going for third. And Jordy Mercer is at third base with 1 away.
Nice job there, Jameson. I heard that.
Just giving it kind of like a golf ball.
Every pitcher talks to the baseball when it's in the air.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're yelling for it to get down, but in this case, get up. And boy, that's important with 1 out, being able to stretch this all the way to third.
Jordy Mercer triples off the base of the wall in right. And he is there for Josh Bell. And Mercer with his first triple of the season. And the infield will shorten up.
You know, Jameson, I know that the entire team is very tight, very close down there, but it seems like the starting rotation really has a bond together.
Yeah.
And I think we've all really got a little look into that, the way everybody, and especially those starters, that kind of rallied around you in what you've had to go through.
Yeah, I think a lot of starting staffs are close, probably around the league. You spend a lot of time around each other. You know, our routines are similar, personalities are similar. There's a reason we're starting pitchers, and for a lot of us too, we came up through the system. And then for Nova, who we got last year, he just gelled right away. You know, he can get along with anybody. So, you know, going through something like this, I've told a lot of people that, you know, it's not a great circumstance, but it brings out the best in a lot of people, and that starts within the clubhouse. And these guys have been super supportive and have been a really good support system for me.
2-1 count on Bell. It's still now a 2-2 count. Jameson Taillon joins us after his start yesterday, and the Pirates are saying it, Jameson, they're taking it 1 day at a time with you. I'm sure that's just fine with you, and that you will dictate a lot of what happens next.
Yeah, they're not rushing me or pressuring me at all. They've made that extremely clear, so that's nice to know. But that's going to do it.
A fly ball to center field. Here comes the throw from Polanco, and it is going to do it. Jameson Taillon knows what he's doing with a headset on. Sacrifice fly for Bell, and it's 1-1.
I'm starting to feel a little threatened up here.
Yeah.
I forgot where I was now.
That's all right. Just remember this. You got at least another 12, 15 years down there with the ball in your hand.
There you go. That's the goal.
Well, no, we were talking, Jameson, about how the club isn't rushing you and that you'll dictate a lot of what your next step is.
Yeah, so the decision of pitching was really left up to me. Obviously, we all talked and we all got on the same page. It's not like I'm out here just doing my own thing, but they said there's no rush back, and if, you know, one day I'm having a tough day or something, I don't necessarily have to take the ball, but that's not my personality. I want to be out here, and if physically I'm able to, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to pitch, and I'm going to try to get back as soon as I can. That being said, I'm also going to be smart, and I'm not going to rush it. Quick, but not in a hurry.
Base hit for Polanco.
Well, there's been some other players that have gone through this pretty much the same thing that you're going through now that have reached out to you. Has that been a help as far as letting you know what to expect?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's been nice to have some guys that have gone through it, you know, that have reached out to me. But, you know, I said yesterday in an interview, you know, Tommy John, everyone goes through really the same protocol no matter what team or organization you're in. They're all pretty similar throwing programs and your return to game action. For something like this, it's a little more personal. It's not quite as physical, but it's more personal. And, you know, every person's going to react a little differently. And that's where the Pirates have left it in my hands, kind of.
John Jaso struck out in the second. A lot of this, though, is you know, you're in, and I think Clint Hurdle said those exact words yesterday, uncharted territory. I mean, for you, right? So you can, it helps, I'm sure, to have others reach out, but this, you really do have to be under your own game plan. That's right.
And there's, you know, like, I've had a lot of people tell me there's not really a script for this. So, you know, it's like they said, it's up to me. It's the definition of one day at a time. You know, it's wake up, play catch today. I'm still having to get some blood work done and get checked on, seeing doctors every once in a while, and then it's see how my bullpen goes tomorrow and see how my next outing goes, and just kind of going one step at a time.
Well, from a purely a baseball point of view, is there something that you're looking at on these sidelines and throwing in the rehab games that you want to get accomplished before you move to the next step?
Well, I definitely want to make sure my stuff is crisp. I'm a pretty honest self-evaluator, so if I hit a point where maybe I'm built up and my body feels good, but I didn't think my stuff was quite sharp enough to get major league hitters out, I won't be afraid to voice it and try to throw another one and make sure I'm 100% ready, because if I come back too soon and I'm not sharp, then I'm not doing anyone any good. But I'm actually working on some things. You know, I'm trying to move my four seam around a little better. So this is an opportunity to get to go and pitch in some minor league games to work on some things that otherwise I might not be able to do.
In the meantime, you had also said how nervous you were watching games. Now, it helps that you're in the dugout, I'm sure, rather than watching it on TV.
Yeah, when you're watching on TV, you're just completely helpless. I mean, I can't.
That's the way I feel when I'm with Bob.
No, Browning makes me nervous too. I can see your point.
I can't yell at the ball like I can here in the dugout and stuff and tell it to get up. But yeah, I mean, you're removed from the guys and the vibe of the team, and there's not as much of a connection, and I'm still pulling for them.
And Polanco has a stolen base, and he thought about going to third.
Trying to get some instruction there.
And we were talking about the Diamondbacks not really doing a whole lot of shifting early on when we were out in Arizona, but they almost messed this one up. Nobody at third base right now as we're watching this replay. The ball is rolling away, and maybe a little bit of obstruction there. Definitely with some contact going on.
So Jameson, now as you stepped away for a time until you go through this process, what do you think of the club as you step away? Sometimes it's easier to see the forest through the trees. So what do you think of this Pirates team?
Oh man, I love being around these guys. You know, we're starting to get some pieces back. Some guys are starting to heat up. So I'm excited. I'm excited to come back, and I'm excited to pitch for these guys. You know, everyone shows up and works extremely hard and plays their tails off. So for me, that's something I really want to be a part of, and I'd like to get back to doing as soon as possible.
And, you know, when you think, Jameson, about Polanco just now coming back, you think Frazier has returned, Free starting to heat up, Bell, McCutchen maybe starting to look like the old McCutchen. And then when Marte returns, and we're not still sure about Jung Ho Kang, and then eventually, you know, you're back in the rotation. The bullpen looks like it's really starting to gain some traction. It really could be an exciting second half of this season.
Yeah, we've got some pieces, that's for sure. We can move guys around. We've got some serious talent. So I definitely wouldn't sleep on us, that's for sure. I think it's going to be fun to watch our games.
Jameson, thanks so much for being with us, and we wish you the absolute best. I know we speak for Pirates Nation when we say that. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Jameson Taillon, awesome. A great description of that young man. Remarkable. And talking about a little shift there.
Yeah, that's the base hit that the shift takes away. That ball up the middle.
But the base hit by Gregory Polanco, Josh Bell, the sacrifice fly, 1-1. Scoreboard 1-1 going to the 5th inning. The Diamondbacks, first of 3 games against the Snakes. Point Park University tweets. We just chatted with Jameson Taillon and a bunch of support. Thoughts and prayers JMO's way. Hashtag KCancer.
Well, you can really see there in a little, what was that, 5, 6, 7 minutes, why he is so good out on the mound. He really is such a calm person. Thinks things through.
Yeah. Mature beyond his years.
Absolutely.
That's for sure. Now the 5th inning for Trevor Williams. He faces his mound opponent, Randall Delgado, and then a 3rd time through the batting order. Past the mound, second baseman Hansen.
By the way, Greg, you're the one who makes everybody nervous, not me. Can't believe you said that.
Just being honest. I said you make me nervous.
Yeah, but not everybody else. I might make you nervous. I don't make.
Well, how do you know that? You're speaking for everybody else now. I'm speaking for myself. Why do I make everybody nervous? I'm as calm as JMO.
No, you're a little excitable. You're a little excitable.
Zach, is Bob Walk not excitable?
No, not at all.
Check the clock, will you? He's a man on a mission. Ground ball to short. Chris Owings is retired. 17 out of 20 first pitch strikes for Trevor Williams.
This is what we've seen out of him. Basically, ever since he got past that first inning in Los Angeles against the Dodgers, he's very aggressive. He goes after the hitters. Shows good control. Doesn't beat himself with base on balls. Makes the other team go after him.
See why it's important this 3rd time through the batting order. Well, he really hasn't been through the 3rd time of the order all that much. It was a small sample size. This is just his 6th major league start and only his 18th major league appearance. Talk about Jameson Taillon. He is indeed mature beyond his years. But you watch Trevor Williams on the mound. He's got kind of a cool attitude, but the ball's going to get past McCutchen. David Peralta into second base with a double.
Nobody hurt, 2 outs. Peralta, nice job driving that one the other way. It was up, elevated, and it's definitely out over the plate, right out over the outside half of the plate. That's how a left-hand hitter wants to hit that ball.
Here's Paul Goldschmidt. You have a left-handed hitter on deck, but you have Paul Goldschmidt at the plate. And a pop-up. They go right at him.
Right in on his hands.
And Trevor Williams has gotten Goldschmidt all 3 times. 7-pitch fifth. 1-1. Cardinals have now lost 8 of their last 11. Rich Hill 5 strong for the Dodgers.
Amazing that Bellinger has 11 home runs.
Yeah.
It's not very many at bats, I don't think.
McCutchen popped up in the second against Delgado. That pitch count again, so you would think the Diamondbacks would be happy if Delgado got past this 5th inning. Torey Lovullo talked about a 70 to 75 pitch range, perhaps for Delgado after making his first start of the season, his last time out.
Well, he's doing a pretty good job with that pitch count so far, keeping it in a nice range.
His 6th strikeout. MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Nowadays, 100 pitches in 6 innings is fairly acceptable. I mean, nobody says anything bad about that. And he is definitely in that area. He won't be allowed to go 100, I wouldn't think, but still he's putting up the pitch count numbers that they would like to see from him.
Alan Hansen, one of the 4 hits for the Pirates, but one of 2 caught stealing. Jordy Mercer was caught in the first and Hansen in the third.
Not very many changeups from Delgado this afternoon, but he has thrown a couple of really nice looking ones that he's gotten swings and misses on. That's what that last pitch was to Hansen. There's the pitch count numbers. The first and the fourth, he went through 20 pitches, but then he made up for that in the other innings. So that's why he's kind of right on schedule.
Memorial Day 2017.
Wow.
7 Ks.
He definitely went to that changeup with Hansen. I wonder if they would allow him to throw there. You see the circle change grip on that changeup, or if they'd allow him to even go above the 75 mark, because he's, you know, kind of hadn't had one of those innings where he's had to work real hard.
Chris Stewart takes strike 1. Strikeout high for Delgado in his career is 9. He struck out 9 Mets 4 years ago. The 2013 season, he made 19 starts with the Diamondbacks his first year in Phoenix, and then was transitioned to the bullpen the following year. He strikes out the side in order. 8 Ks for Randall Delgado. Beautiful shots from the Allegheny Health Network Supermo. There's a beautiful shot. Pittsburgh, PA, 1-1. And on this Memorial Day, we hope that you're enjoying your day, family and friends, and remembering what it's all about. Pretty cool.
Opening day of boating season.
Yep.
There it is, right there in front of you. You can see it.
It's Jake Lamb takes ball 1. Popped up.
Great change up there from Trevor. We'll talk about the pitch counts. His is now outstanding. He hasn't thrown number 60 yet. He's in the 6th inning.
It was that first inning that was causing him the most stress. Yasmani Tomas had the RBI single in that first inning, and last time up he lined out toward left center. You see 17 pitches, and he's 15 in the second, 11 in the third, 7-7, and now his third pitch of the 6th, and a strike. If he can get through this 6th, that would be his longest outing as a starter. Polanco gonna have enough room. And is he okay? Looks like he's in pain. He was grabbing his foot.
He certainly went down in an awkward way as he was lunging for that ball against the wall. And I didn't like the way that Hansen and Bell went out there just on a dead sprint. Obviously they saw something that didn't look good.
Like Ben Potenciano was checking out his foot or ankle, and then it looked as though maybe Polanco said knee as he started to.
He's trying to put a little weight on it. They're definitely going to not take any chances. They're going to, even though he's starting to put weight on it, they're definitely taking him out of this game. Ankle is pointing to.
Yeah.
Don't like the looks of that, Rick.
No. Jose Osuna going to go out to right.
He kind of stepped into the wall. Did you see how his foot stepped into the wall? His last stride with his right foot, at the toe was way up on the wall and his heel was still on the ground, and it just bit back a long ways. Saved from that first shot.
So Osuna takes over in right.
Watch his foot when he plants it right there. See how it mashes into the wall in a really odd angle?
Now swinging, it's a strike. That hits Tomas, but he took a full swing at it. It hit him like in the chest. It's a strikeout. That was unbelievable. Not much you can argue here, I don't think.
No, I don't think he had to like ask anybody, did he go? He hit it with his
full
arm.
swing.
He hit it with his forearm, didn't he?
Fellow asking why he didn't ask for help, but
why would he?
I don't think you need to.
I mean, there's no doubt that he swings. I mean, the
An
completes
absolute
the
full swing. Brandon Drury. Did you see the video of that minor league pitcher who threw the ball in the ground, basically right in front of the mound, and the ball was 2 strikes on the batter? You know, he just loses it and the ball just rolls. It barely got to like foul territory between home and first. Right. Well, the batter just kind of playfully swung at it. It's a strikeout.
Strikeout, yeah. As soon as it crosses that foul line, it's a legal pitch. So, yeah, if you swing. Did they check?
No, didn't even, nope.
No checking.
So just a ball that slowly dribbled across that foul line. And a strike on Drury. It's 3-1.
Reminds me of what Jim Leyland used to say about pitching to Sheffield. Roll it up there and hope it doesn't hop.
Popped up.
I don't think he would have swung though.
New career high for Trevor Williams, 6 innings. That was a 10-pitch inning. It's 1-1. On this Memorial Day, USAA honors our fallen heroes. David Freese leads off for the Pirates as a pinch hitter. Originally known as Decoration Day. Born out of the Civil War, originally proclaimed May 5th, 1868. Baseball the last 9 straight years now has had players wearing the specially designed caps. 5th year they've had the matching jerseys. So Trevor Williams has a career-high 6-inning start. There's the 1 run on 4 hits. Hit 2 batters, but did not walk a man. And Williams struck out 3. Juan Nicasio will be pitching in the 7th. I would think the Pirates have to be awfully pleased with the start from Trevor Williams.
Oh, absolutely. His last handful of starts, well, maybe not a handful, but last, what, 4 starts?
Yeah.
And he's making pushing things a little bit further every time. Working his pitch counts up. I'm very happy with what he's done. The men in gray now have their bullpen ready. Busy anyway. Lefty throwing and the snaked in.
Long run, foul territory, and oh, a nice play there by Goldschmidt. Way down the line.
Yeah, you're running down there too, toward that short fence where you've just seen somebody hurt themselves going into. You have no chance of looking, try and find the fence. You don't know where it's at. You're just feeling with your feet, see if you get grass or dirt. When they first came up with the idea of putting a track around the grass,
yeah, give you a warning
to warn the players of getting close to a fence.
J.J. Hoover, the righty, Andrew Chafin, the lefty.
I wonder if somebody just moved the fences back one day and then exposed some dirt, and then the outfielder said, "Hey, this was a good idea." I don't know if it was just one of those accidental things. Remember when they had the artificial surface on all the different fields, the tracks were that hard rubber.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought, how could anyone ever dive for anything on that? But they did. They would dive for balls on those hard rubber tracks. Just kind of stick like you just landed on a giant pearl eraser.
Close, 3-2. So Williams did not walk anybody, and Delgado has not walked anybody. He's only walked 6 batters in 37 innings. Nice hop for Owings. 2 down. Brings up Jordy Mercer. Day automotive this day in Pirates history. 1991, Pirates beat the Cardinals 6-zip. Zane Smith, a 1-hit shutout, strikes out 5 for his 7th win. Second career 1-hitter. Orlando Merced, a couple of hits, drove in 2 runs to lead the offense on this day in 1991. 2 outs. The batter Jordy Mercer, he tripled and scored the tying run in the 4th. How about also this day in 1909, Bob? Recently elected President William Howard Taft comes to Pittsburgh and sees the Pirates play the Cubs at Exposition Park. About 14,000 fans on hand. Taft's brother Charles is one of the principal owners of the Cubs. Also paid a visit to the new ballpark under construction in Oakland, because in about a month the Pirates would move to Forbes Field.
First baseball park ever built, right?
Yeah. Steel structure. Forbes Field. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Headlines the next day. You'll like these. Pittsburgh Press. Not that they're editorializing at all, okay? Here's headlines. Taft has jolly time at ball game. President insists on mingling with the crowd at Expo Park. Hurries from Country Club. He was out in the Swigley area earlier that day. Covers lots of ground and enjoys it hugely.
Very
jolly time.
Very clever wording there.
Yeah. Covers lots of ground, enjoys it hugely.
Yeah, at first I thought they were talking about the Jolly Roger. You said Jolly Time.
A base hit for Jordy Mercer. He is 3 for 3 and on fire the last couple of weeks.
A little slider that he left up. Jordy made him pay. I was thinking about those headlines. We were watching Jordy hit that base hit. It's kind of reminded me sometimes of the tips. Got to look beyond the wording.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah, you learned a long time ago when you do your tips, just be subtle about it. There's meaning behind them. As Torey Lovallo going to make a double switch. He lets Randall Delgado go 92 pitches and will leave with a tie game.
And your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive, we're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
1-1. Pirates batting, 2 outs, bottom of the 6th inning with a runner at first base. The first of this 3-game series against the Diamondbacks, and Chris Herman has taken over in left field in this double switch. He'll bat on the 9th spot of the order, which will be due up 3rd. In the top of the 7th inning, Andrew Chafin hits in Yasmani Tomas's spot. Going to turn Bell around, bat right-handed.
You saw that opposition batting average at Chafin's stats, under 200. It's tough to get a hit off of.
Righty's sitting only 179 against Chafin.
So what do you think? If Osuna comes up, you think they'll make a pitching change, go to a right-hander, even though all righties are hitting 179?
No, I don't think they will.
You don't think they will?
The splits. 3-1.
We might find out with a base on balls.
So Osuna next, and then the left-handed hitting Jaso to follow Osuna.
Been trying to hit the outside corner with Bell. Can't nail it down. Didn't nail it down with that one either. That one was well outside, but he got a swing and a miss. Bell just a little over anxious. And most of the time for a young hitter, he shows a lot of patience, but not that time. He wanted that 3-1 pitch, and it was well off the plate.
He goes down on strikes for a second time today, and we are heading to the 7th, tied at 1.
Sports is brought to you by Barrel. Check out the Barrel Hot list at barrel.com. Now the only way to buy a car. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
1-1, 7th inning. Pirates and D-backs tomorrow night, 7:05. Ivan Nova goes for the Bucks tomorrow night against Robbie Ray, and then this homestand concludes on Wednesday afternoon. Matinee game 12:35. Chad Kuhl against Zach Godley. Picture perfect day in Pittsburgh. It'll be Gregor Blanco to lead off against new Pirates pitcher Juan Nicasio.
Juan's numbers on the year, everything in great shape with him.
Pirates came back to beat the Mets on Saturday night. The bullpen really shined. 5 scoreless innings. Juan Nicasio pitched the 8th inning on Saturday night and struck out each of the 3 men he faced.
Well, the bullpen certainly is a strength of this team. We knew that in spring training. A lot of strong arms. They've got a variety of styles out there, both sides of the plate, or both sides of the mound, left and right side. Nicasio really against lefties this year has gone very heavy fastball, trying to stay away from off-speed stuff. It's been paying off. Left-hand hitter's kind of his Achilles heel in the past. Ray looking on. Hard to see him in a camo.
3-2 here. Nicasio certainly doesn't want to be the first pitcher to walk an opposing hitter today.
The opposition average of lefties just 250. And that's way better than where it's been in the past.
Strikes him out looking.
And he did go in a little off speed there in a full count. At least expecting it. I mean, this is not a great location for an off-speed pitch. If it was hit hard, we'd said, well, he hung one. But it was strike 3 nonetheless.
Buccaneers and the Snakes tied at 1.
Baseball certainly is a game where the result seems to determine whether something was good or bad. That was another. There's 2 hanging sliders in a row. One for strike 3, one for strike 1.
One out. 1-1 count on Jeff Mathis.
Got that 97 in a fine spot. Actually, probably not even a strike, up and in on the hands.
Nicasio's ERA over his last 19 appearances, just a little bit over 1. Stewart wanted the pitch up, not that far. And now it is 2-2 with Chris Herman now playing left field on deck. McCutchen. 2 outs. Get your Pirates gear at the Majestic Clubhouse store on Federal Street at PNC Park, powered by Fanatics. The Majestic store has merchandise for fans of all ages, including customized jerseys and stadium exclusive merchandise. The store is open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, Saturday 11 to 5, and of course during all Pirates home games. The Majestic Clubhouse store here at PNC Park. All decked out, Pirates gear, it's the key. Now Herman takes strike 1. One count on Herman. Saw the batting average when he was on deck, 186. 13 hits in 70 at bats. 5 of those 13 hits home runs. Trevor Williams went a career high 6 innings as a starter, 1 run, 4 hits. Now Nicasio looking for a 1-2-3-7. He should get it. If it stays in play, it does not. 2-2.
Taillon would have known right away that was foul territory.
He's got a great angle down there.
Oh, he was on top of stuff, wasn't he? With
Yep.
the calls. Get up. Oh, that's good enough.
Yep.
There's a little bit of an advantage though, being on field level. Remember the days when we used to do the TV broadcast from field level over at Three Rivers?
Oh yeah, we were talking about that during a dinner
for a whole year.
Yep. They built us a nice canopy.
Get us out of the rain.
Clement weather.
We were right there up against the back wall behind home plate.
Section 40 it was.
There was our view right there.
Yep.
Background was a little different. Some good seats right there. That was right about where Jameson was sitting, as a matter of fact. We were talking to him. Right at the end of the dugout.
J-Mo. Ocasio cannot put Herman away.
He's having to use a lot of his pitches to get through this at bat. Next one will be number 9.
Struck out Gregor Polanco looking on a 3-2 pitch. Got Jeff Mathis to pop out to shallow center. Trying to get the light hitting Chris Herman put away. He'll need at least 10 pitches. Herman has drawn 9 walks. 79 plate appearances. He has struck out 18 times. Won't go down easy.
Nice battle into a position where 3-ball count. And Ocasio had to come to him.
Gets him looking after all that. 11 pitches. 1, 2, 3 go the Snakes. With men on base, Yasmani Tomas singles through the left side of the infield, scoring. David Peralta had reached on a hit by pitch, and then the Pirates would tie it up. Jordy Mercer triples with 1 out in the 4th, his first triple of the season. Josh Bell a sacrifice fly. And in the 6th inning, this play, Gregory Polanco tries to make on a foul ball, forces him out of the ball game. Still no update on that injury. Carted off the field and was holding his right foot or ankle. Jose Osuna came on in his place. UPMC scoreboard 1-1. Gotta be careful. Well, maybe you don't have to be. Heck with it. That's how you eat your ice cream cone, Bob?
No, but that looked like maybe it's a young Steve Blass. So I've seen Steve eat like that sometimes, especially cakes.
1-1 on Osuna, his first at bat. Leave it up to Mom to clean it up.
Felt good. Do it again. Come on, one more time.
Yellowwood bringing the lumber. Jose Osuna against these Diamondbacks. Pirates winning a game in extra innings, and Osuna with a home run off Tom Wilhelmsen. Give the Pirates a 6-4 lead in the 10th inning on Mother's Day. Pirates won it by that final score of 6-4. That was Osuna's second home run in the big leagues. Sharply hit just off the glove of Lamb. Osuna will get a double out of it to start the bottom of the 7th inning.
Kind of breaking pitch. It was kind of coming down and into him, and he just casually dropped the head of the bat right to the baseball. Beautiful job. He watches the ball after he hits it, so he knows it's gone off the glove. Got the chance for a double, turned it on.
All Lamb did was slow it down and deflect it to the point where Osuna goes into second without a play. And now we'll see how John Jaso decides to try and get that runner to third against a lefty. John Jaso collected the game-winning hit against lefty Josh Edgin on Saturday. He's not going to move the runner. Pop up. Let's go back to Rob King, the studios, and a game break. Okay, Rob, thanks. The Cubs have dropped 3 straight. Just a game over 500 as play began today. Torey Lovullo going back to the bullpen. Will be it for Chafin, the lefty. Righty coming on.
Is presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Beautiful afternoon. Tie game. 1-1. Diamondbacks, Pirates. Bucks have a runner at second with 1 out. Jose Osuna, the double to start the inning, still there after the pop-up by Jay. So now Andrew McCutchen faces J.J. Hoover. McCutchen popped up to second in the second inning, struck out in the 5th.
Take a look, see what Hoover's been doing in his 21 prior appearances. 9 walks in 18 innings. He's a little high. When you see that many walks, then it doesn't make the opponent batting average look that good. You're still giving up base runners.
McCutchen's 4th game from this 6th spot of the batting order. 4 hits in 13 at bats since being moved to this slot. 2-1 the count to him.
Working on trying to hit to all fields, not just trying to pull balls. So he's trying to go the other way with that one. It was a good pitch to do it. Up and away fastball. Here it is, and again that ball's up, out over the plate. He's trying to drive it out toward right.
Two count. Alan Hansen is on deck for Pittsburgh. J.J. Hoover, the Elizabeth Ford product. Hansen, who has one of the Pirates' 6 hits. Andrew McCutchen with 23 RBIs on the year. 1,343 career hits. Tied for 18th on the all-time Pirates hits list. Draws the walk. So it is Alan Hansen now with 2 on and 1 out.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what Kutch's numbers are. You can still see by that, the strike zone where the clusters were, what that last pitch was. And they're still well aware that it is Andrew McCutchen in there. We're being very careful there. Of course, they have the young Hansen hitting behind him.
Adam Frazier looks like he's about ready to grab a bat. Heading down toward the 9th spot of the order. Chris Stewart next, then the pitcher spot.
Bullpen right now quiet for Arizona. Nothing going on there.
For the Pirates, Felipe Rivero. Mathis gonna.
Might have been a bit of a cross up there. Mathis kind of caught that ball. Definitely was not a smooth play on his part. Looked like he maybe got something he wasn't expecting. Went out to find out why. And that's always a sign too for the middle infielders to come out. They want to know if you're going to change the signs to something else, then what are you changing them to? Because we want to know.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 on, 1 out. Hansen a switch hitter.
You see that Hoover's one of those pitchers that apparently doesn't see the fingers well, so they go on the touches like almost like a third base coach giving signs. Hansen chasing a bad breaking ball, back foot slider. See there, they immediately take that ball out of play. Every time the ball touches the dirt, out of play. The same pitch, learned. Did not chase.
2-2 on Hansen. Gregory Polanco, Pirates announced, left the game with right ankle discomfort. Treated and evaluated by the medical staff. His status is day to day. Osuna doubled in Polanco's spot to start the inning. And Hansen pops up and pops out. Barrel Automotive League leader stat. Teams that have scored the highest percentage of their runs with 2 outs this season. Pirates nearly 45% of the time in these situations. The Tampa Bay Rays 46% of the time. So the Pirates have the D-backs right where they want them. 2 outs and a man in scoring position for Chris Stewart, looking for his first RBI of the season. Chris Stewart's last RBI July 1st last year. Of course, spent some time, much of the second half, shut down. Adam Frazier would be next if Stewart reaches. Ray De La Rosa is up.
Going over the lineup in the scouting report.
On Frazier.
Yep. That's exactly what they were looking at.
.35-year-old veteran Chris Stewart. He takes ball 3. J.J. Hoover, a non-roster invitee to spring training, signed as a free agent early January after 5 seasons with the Reds. Toward left center field for Chris Stewart. Over is Herman. He won't get there. Chris Stewart gonna go for 3. He is there with a triple. He gives the Pirates the lead, and he looks like he might be hurt.
Yeah, it looks like maybe a hammy.
Osuna and McCutchen scored to give the Pirates the lead, but right away you saw it grasp the back of that leg, and out comes Ben Potenziano. Hammy. You can see Stewart say it right there. Hammy. So he'll leave the game, no doubt, providing the Pirates with this lead and his second triple of the season. Tyler Glasnow might be getting ready to run.
Right down the middle with a fastball. Hoover deciding that just going to challenge him. Now, this ball was hit very high. A little nervous that somebody might be able to run underneath it, but wow, you can see it pulled on him just as he was going into the slide.
Watch this. Just as he feels it pull, he has to lunge toward the bag. Allegheny Health Network Supermo. Stewart's second career triple. Great ovation for the 35-year-old veteran. His first 2 RBIs of the season. Tyler Glass now runs at third base. Francisco Cervelli's going to get catcher's equipment on now. Adam Frazier bats for Nicasio.
It looks like Arizona's going to make some kind of a double switch here.
Got the lefty De La Rosa ready for Frazier. One of those runs will be charged to Chafin. Osuna started the inning with a double off the lefty. Nick Ahmed coming on. Where Lovello has gone to home plate umpire Adrian Johnson to go over these changes. Ahmed will head to short. Chris Owings plays just about everywhere on the diamond, and De La Rosa is coming on. Will be coming back. Pirates look to add on. Lead 3-1. Bottom of the 7th, and just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Cervelli will be ready. Changes for the D-backs as Adam Frazier faces the lefty Jorge De La Rosa. Ball 1. Chris Owings has moved from short to left. Nick Ahmed has come on to play short. And again, Jorge De La Rosa on the mound.
Games now for De La Rosa. And his walks are high.
Ground ball. And out recorded there as Drury and Ahmed converge, and Drury hits the dirt. Ahmed is there. Down goes Drury. 3-1 Pirates.
That was a little bit of a throwback,
man.
And they were throwing.
I mean, Strickland didn't back down at all.
No. In fact, it looked like he got the first one in there pretty good.
Oh. Changes for the Pirates, who lead this game 3-1. Adam Frazier stays in the game. He's now in left. Ifton Gope takes over at second base. John Jaso goes to first. Francisco Cervelli now behind the plate. And on the mound, Felipe Rivero.
Look at those outstanding numbers. 0.70 for an ERA. Six outs.
Chris Owings was 0 for 3 against starter Trevor Williams. This is Juan Nicasio's game to win if the Pirates do get those 6 outs.
Looked like Cervelli was trying to slow Rivero down there a little bit. He kind of wouldn't give him a sign or anything there for a while. And now Rivero has decided to slow it down himself. Took a little walk around the park.
Leads off with a 4-pitch walk. Nissan rode ahead. 2 more here during this homestand tomorrow night. Join you at 6:30. The 7:05 game features Ivan Nova against Robbie Ray. Righty versus the lefty. And then Chad Kuhl against Zach Godley. The Wednesday afternoon game. Join you at noon. 12:35 first pitch. Here's Ivan Nova.
Coming off a outstanding start in Atlanta. Threw much better than his lines.
Chad Kuhl again will go on Wednesday. David Peralta. And now Rivero.
5 in a row.
Have to throw a strike.
After ball 4, it looked like he was kind of going through a little bit of a throwing motion, like he was trying to remind himself not to get the ball out there sidearm and move it up a little bit higher. His release, I think he thought he was letting his throwing arm kind of flop out a little bit.
Both clubs, a lot of changes. The Pirates now with a couple of guys out because of injury. Hamstring for Stewart. The ankle forced Polanco from the game. So Clint Hurdle has had to use all of his available position players and even a pitcher, Tyler Glass, now to pinch run. A tough play.
Yeah, that's put it in your pocket time there.
Base hit. 2 on for Arizona. To begin
they
this
haven't,
eighth inning.
they haven't really done a whole lot with the bat, obviously, against Rivero. They got the 4-pitch walk to start the inning off, and this just a little bit of a cue shot to get Peralta on. The pitch before that really was kind of overmatched with a curveball. Rivera, unlike most power relievers, he goes out there with 4 real good pitches. There's one of them, starting him off with a changeup.
Saw Goldschmidt, the one at bat against Rivera, was the 3rd game of that 4-game series, and it hit an opposite field solo homer against him. The 4-3 Pirates win. Bounced toward first, but foul. Susie Cool. Nice play. 0-2 on Goldschmidt. Has popped up, line to center, and fouled out. Paul Goldschmidt with 38 runs batted in. Eighth in the league. 4th in on-base percentage, 10th in slugging. And in these situations, he's batting .436. Runners in scoring position.
Oh my, that was a nice, well-placed pitch. It was off the plate inside, but that's right where the Pirates wanted to throw that one. And Cervelli didn't move the glove at all. Rivera just drilled it.
2-2.
These are great matchups, aren't they?
Yeah.
An elite hitter against one of the premier relievers.
Ground ball, shortstop. That is off the glove of Jaso. Runner breaks for the plate, and he's caught between third and home. But the throw's in the dirt, and everybody's safe, other than the out at second. A double play ball off Jaso's glove. Owings was caught between third and home, and the Pirates could not get that out.
Fortunate that that ball did not get into the stands and over there on the railing, and then bounce right back to Jaso, and then that really gave an opportunity for an out. What a nice job by Jay. The throw over was a very off-balance throw coming over to Jay, and Jay did a good job catching it, so that ball didn't get down the line. Rivera decided just to duck and get out of the way of everything. No telling where the throws were going.
Well, hopefully Rivera gets out of this now. When you get Paul Goldschmidt to hit a double play ball in that situation, you only get one out. Two on Jake Lamb.
Got to pay attention to Goldschmidt a little bit too. If he thinks you're not really watching him too close, for a big man, he's pretty good at stealing a base.
He has a dozen this season in 14 tries.
He is a obviously the tying run here. You don't want him to get the second.
Mercer to Ngope.
How high was it?
Looked as though maybe Jaso went into the stretch maybe a little early. I don't know.
You know what? It looked like he was, even if he caught it, he was off the bag.
Yeah. And that's popped up. Harrison says he's got it, and he does. Jay Hay on the move. 2 outs.
Well, there's never any doubt if Jay Hay wants to catch something, he's going to be the guy to catch it. See Cervelli right there at the end. Right about now, Cervelli has realized there's nobody at home. See him go running back. Rivero should have went to the plate, and instead he went over toward where the foul ball was, and that left home plate totally uncovered there. That could have been a problem, but Cervelli was able to recognize it, hustle back.
First at bat for Nick Ahmed. One ball, one strike. A walk to Chris Owings started this inning, and then David Peralta, the swinging bunt hit. Rivero got Paul Goldschmidt to hit a double play ball to Jordy Mercer. They got the one out, but Ngope's throw was high to Jaso, deflected off his glove. They had Owings caught between home and third, but he got back. And Lamb fouls out. A 1-1 count on Ahmed. Yes, he went. It's 1-2. Tap toward third. Harrison loves it and gets. And Felipe Rivero gets out of it. The Pirates lead 3-1. Rivero reacts to the final out in the top of the 8th.
Sports is brought to you by USAA. Join USAA in honoring our fallen heroes.
Pirates and the Arizona Diamondbacks playing the first game of this 3-game series. We showed some of the memorials along the north side at the beginning of our telecast, and on this Memorial Day, we remember those who have fallen and paid the ultimate sacrifice. mentioned earlier that Memorial Day initially was called Decoration Day. Congress passed the National Holiday Act in 1971 to make it an official holiday. Josh Harrison 0 for 3, facing Tom Wilhelmsen. He needs a hit to keep the streak alive. Got a 10-gamer on the line here. Right to Ahmed.
I hit it hard enough to get that hit, but right at him. Wilhelmsen been busy. This is his 24th game. His ERA just a little high, but sometimes first couple months of the season, relievers will have the ERA elevated a little. They don't have that many innings. It moves around.
Jordy Mercer is 3 for 3 in this ball game. His average now up to 256. Started the day at 242.
4 home runs. Always solid.
Mercer did not have a real good series in Phoenix. But since then, if you look back to 2 weeks ago when the Pirates left Arizona, he was hitting .203. Now up to 256 for the Pirates shortstop. Jeff Branson, the hard-working Pirates hitting coach. All of these students he has.
The hitting coaches, that's always the job where you're the busiest, put it that way. Not much time off for a hitting coach. All those students want that individual time, instruction, work.
2 outs. Well, we invite you to join us for Game 2 of this 3-game series against the Diamondbacks. It's tomorrow night. Ivan Nova starts for the Pirates. He'll be opposed by lefty Robbie Ray. Join us at 6:30 for Pirates pregame, presented by WB Mason. Ivan Nova makes his 3rd career start tomorrow night against the Snakes. Beat the Braves his last time out on Thursday. First at bat for Francisco Cervelli. Watson
ready for the save.
Aiming for his 11th save of the season. That is, unless the Pirates score a couple of runs here in the bottom of the 8th. Francisco Cervelli, his last 8 games, 11 hits and 26 at bats, including 8 of his last 16 ABs.
He wanted to pull the trigger on that one. Anytime you see those breaking balls over the middle of the plate that are belt high, hitters love to take a run at those.
Well, Cervelli figures to be in the starting lineup tomorrow night, but I imagine Andy Barquette, the manager at AAA Indianapolis, has already gotten the phone call.
Most likely.
Elias Diaz very well be on his way to Pittsburgh as we speak. Two and two. Indianapolis played at Rochester earlier. They completed their game. Three and two on Cervelli. Diaz, by the way, was 2 for 4 and drove in a pair of runs today. And
Rochester, that's not too far.
Hit his second home run of the season today.
Shouldn't take long. Might be here tonight.
And ball 4. Trying to think though, would they fly out tonight? Do they fly out? Oh, there are a lot of early morning flights.
I don't know.
And you figure they
grew
would
up in the area. Rochester to Pittsburgh was maybe even a bus ride back when.
Yeah, I was just thinking. I wonder if is Rochester to Indy a bus ride?
I could see him flying here today. You'd get some kind of a flight out of Rochester to.
Or fly out of Buffalo, probably.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not to drive. Not to here, right? Would there be a direct flight
from Buffalo to Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Not sure about that. But there's an easy drive.
Yeah.
Pirates used to have their AAA affiliate in Buffalo.
Take long at all to call somebody up from there.
1-1 on Osuna.
For years, remember Columbus?
Yeah.
Back in the old days.
Yeah. And Osuna, you know, much like that game he won in Arizona, not starting but having a big impact. He doubled to start the 7th inning. That began the rally. Scored the go-ahead run, and he has the broken bat single here in the 8th. Talking to Neil Huntington on his radio show yesterday about Osuna, and would he rather him be playing every day at AAA Indianapolis? And the Pirates general manager said in an ideal world, probably so, but Osuna, and he's a guy that's gotten a lot of at-bats over the past, especially winter ball. Played great winter ball in Venezuela, so he got a lot of ABs, and he's got a good mental approach, but they're going to constantly monitor that.
You know, there's not that much compared to last year. You don't have the offense coming off the bench that you had. So it's awfully hard to not have Osuna coming off the bench. I mean, that's a threat you have. He's got power.
Wild pitch. Wild pitch. Pitch runners at 2nd and 3rd, and Jaso could put this game on ice. Now with a base hit.
Wonder if that was a cross-up, Greg.
Boy, sure looks like it.
No attempt to block that breaking ball in the dirt at all.
Approached it like it was going to be a backhand, a fastball.
Yeah, and it just bounced up and nicked off the glove and hit him in the mask. Now, if there's a fastball in the dirt, that's the one you always see the catchers try to just pick, like if they're as if they were a first baseman or something like that. But if they've called breaking ball or even a changeup, some kind of an off-speed pitch, and it's in the dirt, you know, they're expected to get their shin guards down and to block those balls with their chest protector. If you're catcher in St. Louis, correct?
Yadier Molina?
Yeah, if you're Molina, you just like they just stick to your chest protector.
Yeah.
They don't even bounce away anywhere. They stay right there like it's Velcro.
It's 2-0 on Jaso. Andrew McCutchen on deck. Started with 2 outs. The walk to Cervelli, the base hit for Osuna, and the wild pitch. 3-1. Fly ball toward left. Into left center field. Oh, boy. All kinds of problems there for Owings at the end, but he puts it away. So the save situation for Tony Watson. Head to the ninth. Pirates lead at 3-1. 3 more outs to get. Up to Tony Watson. Try and close it out. Get the Pirates their 3rd straight W against the Diamondbacks, going back to that series in Phoenix a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, take a look at Tony's numbers. As you can see, he's going for save number 11. His 13th opportunity.
Faces Brandon Drury. Drury 0 for 3 against Trevor Williams.
At the bottom part of this snake lineup, which has thankfully been quiet today. Talked about how good this offense is, and boy, Pirate pitching has really handled them well. Just 1 run on 5 hits. Trevor Williams, an excellent start today. Kind of the way you almost draw every game up.
Yeah. 6 innings from your starter and then go to work with
Nicasio.
Most nights, Nicasio, Rivero, Watson. Now Daniel Hudson starting to really improve those numbers. And there's a fly ball to right, and out number 1. But downstairs to Robbie.
Guys, with 2 outs remaining in the game, we want to tell you tomorrow's Twitter Tuesday guest. It's that man, Josh Bell. He's going to answer your questions in the pregame and during the game. Use Bucks Tuesday. That's the hashtag. Send that along, and Josh will get to them, guys. Going to be interesting hour, interesting answers from a very well-spoken Josh Bell tomorrow on Twitter Tuesday.
That should be a good one.
Josh Bell, rookie year, has had his ups and downs. He continues to learn the pitching.
He'll remind you of a lot of Taillon.
Yeah.
Very mature.
Yeah.
Always when you get in a discussion with him about the game, it's like he's been around for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, he takes it all
instead
in.
of being a short timer.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's a fan of the game, student of the game. Talking about Jeff Ranson working with his students, working with young players like Josh Bell. 0-2 count on Gregor Blanco. Watson 2 outs away from that 11th save. Greg Holland of the Rockies, the National League leader, he has 19. And the Diamondbacks veteran Fernando Rodney has 13. Watson looking for his 11th. Son Juan-O of the Cardinals has 11. Those Cardinals lost to the Dodgers 5-1. The Mets beat the Brewers 4-2. Brewers started this day a game and a half up on the Cardinals and Cubs. The Pirates 4.5 back, and now 1 out away from moving to within 3.5 games of the first place Brewers in the Central. Tony Watson now 1 out away from getting the save for Juan Nicasio. Veteran Daniel Descalso, a lefty hitter, will pinch hit. Torey Lovullo could have gone. In fact, he had right-handed batting Chris Iannetta on deck, but he would go to Iannetta for a long ball. And he's going to get a chance as Descalso singles into center field. Pinch hit for Mathis and Chris Iannetta. The last time we saw him in Phoenix, the 12th of May, Johnny Barbado hit him right in the face.
That got him really well. It looked pretty bad. We were all very concerned when it happened. Back up there now.
Barbado, he was as concerned as anyone. Iannetta takes the strike.
He reached out to him after the game.
7-day concussion list after hit by that pitch. Homered on the first pitch he saw when he returned against the Padres in San Diego 8 days ago. Pretty remarkable. 1-1. And a 1-2 count. $16,939 paid attendance on this Memorial Day. Bucks were trailing in the first inning. They came back, scored the tying run in the fourth, 2 in the seventh.
Definitely trying to crowd him in these last 2 pitches. Right-hand hitters, Tony's mainly fastball changeup.
2-2. Now 3-2 count on Iannetta. Chris Owings on deck. Deep to left, toward the wall, and it is tied at 3. Chris Iannetta on a 3-2 pitch hits a pinch hit, game-tying home run off Tony Watson. Pretty unbelievable. It's 3-3.
You said that hold Iannetta back for the home run ball, the home run swing. And sometimes managers' plans work out.
Wow. How good does that feel for Iannetta?
That's how they wanted it to happen. Use Descalso to get on base because they needed a base runner so that that spot would be a tying run spot. It happened. They put Iannetta up there looking for the home run, and he gets ball up out over the plate. It's like a changeup. And he went out and hooked it right down the line.
Chris Iannetta's 6th home run of the season on a 3-2 pitch to tie the game. A stunner. And a blown save for Tony Watson. Popped up. Jaso. Well, now the Pirates will try and get Watson a win. He got the W against the New York Mets on Saturday night. Out, 2-run, game-tying, pinch hit homer on a 3-2 pitch for the veteran Iannetta. It is his 4th career pinch hit home run. Hits it off Tony Watson to tie the game. And now he's out there to catch Archie Bradley.
Bradley's numbers on the year. He's extremely tough. Everything in good shape. Doesn't walk all that many people to go with those 28 strikeouts, 22 innings. Hard thrower.
And Hurdle, a reassuring pat on the back for Tony Watson, but nothing anybody can say.
No, absolutely.
Console you after that.
A lot of times you just so nobody says anything. Just stay away.
Actually, the best thing that you can do, I guess, for Tony Watson is to walk it off here.
Yeah.
Get the W.
Yeah, get the game over with, get the win. Somebody hit one out of here, and that will be the absolute best medicine.
Deep to right field. Is this it? Are we walking it off? Yes! Happy Memorial Day! Andrew McCutchen walks it off. Praise the Jolly Roger.
There's your medicine. And there's your opposite field home run for Kutch. When he is getting locked in, that's where he's hitting the ball hard. That is a happy man. Things happen for a reason, Greg.
His first walk-off since July 11th, 2015.
They don't tie it up.
Career walk-off home run in his career, and he hits it to right field.
If they don't tie it up, he doesn't obviously get in this position to have that happen. The opposite field home run for a walk-off. I mean, you could tell as he crossed home plate. I mean, it's always an exciting thing to have that walk-off. But that one might have been a little bit better just because of what he's been going through these first couple months of the season.
I mean, just again, it's a perfect script that you write here. Hits it to right. He walks it off, gives Watson the win. A struggling McCutchen in the 6-hole now. The home run against the Diamondbacks, a team that he's had a history with on Memorial Day.
97-mile-an-hour fastball up and away. And that's the one you don't want to try and pull all the time. And I think he's been doing a lot of that this year. And he just takes it right where it's pitched. And as always, he's got that power that he can go out anywhere. It doesn't matter. Never has to pull the ball. Oh, look at that. He's loving that, isn't he?
Nova and Francisco Cervelli douse Andrew McCutchen a few moments ago. And we go downstairs to Robbie and Andrew.
Yeah, there's a yard sale going on in front of the Pirates dugout right now. Gum, cups, water, Gatorade all over the place. But Andrew McCutchen gets it done for the Buccos. What happened in that at bat? 1-1 pitch, he drove it out.
I never faced that guy before, so I was just trying to keep it short and quick, simple. The game's already hard enough, so just try to do what I can, and I was able to hit it out.
What is it about this team, no matter what the personnel is, what the score is, what the situation, this team has always found a way to hang in there and compete game after game?
It's always next guy up, so, you know, that's what we have to do here. That's a good team win. You know, we just got to keep it going and, you know, just keep picking each other up.
How about when you look at your situation, trade rumors, be moved, center field, right field, how do you handle everything so professionally? It doesn't seem to bother you ever.
I'm just grateful. I'm thankful, and I'll always be thankful. It's a great Memorial Day, you know, for the troops that fight, for the troops that lost their lives, to give me the opportunity to be able to play this game that I love. I couldn't think of anything else that's better than that.
How about to wear these colors and play America's pastime on the game on a day when we celebrate those who served?
It's amazing just to be able to do that. And like I said before, I can play this game freely, and it's because of them. So I appreciate it.
Congratulations, Andrew.
Thank you.
Robin Teak, how about that? Andrew McCutchen, the walk-off home run.
And what a walk-off interview, first class, as expected, from Andrew McCutchen.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we've seen it since day one when he first showed up here in Pittsburgh. That is just who Andrew McCutchen is.
Yep, Andrew McCutchen finishing off a game that was begun by Trevor Williams. Just like we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And it's Trevor Williams. Actually, I beg your pardon, we're going to go with Andrew McCutchen. Why wouldn't we? With his 6th career walk-off home run.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the third pitch of the bat, he got a ball out over the plate that he could handle. It was elevated a little bit, was able to get it up in the air, and I think Bob said it best, over the right field wall. That's, you know, that's been something that's been a topic of discussion all year long with Kutch. You know, they're playing chips on him to the other side, something that he used to do with regularity in the MVP years. So yeah, it's great to see him be able to get back there, and after a couple days of working on moving the ball to that side of the field, to have that success today, end the game. And you know, the bottom line is that run right there, you were real close to wasting Trevor Williams' great outing today. That ball right there, it wasn't wasted at all.
5-game hitting streak for Andrew McCutchen, who is now tied with Ralph Kiner and Willie Stargell for the most walk-off home runs in team history. Coming up on Pirates post-game, we'll have highlights from this dramatic victory on Memorial Day, other highlights from around the league. You'll hear from manager Clint Hurdle and others coming up next on Pirates post-game.